Hey y'all, welcome to, I don't know, my new podcast, potentially. I've been thinking about doing this for a little while now. Basically, I'm just kind of hanging out. I do this pretty often where I'll get home from training and I'm kind of winding down from the day and I'm smoking a little bit. I don't care if you don't like it. You don't have to do it, but if you're chilling with me, I hope you are rolling a little bit and having a good time yourself. Anyways, primarily what I'm going to do on this, I don't know, podcast or whatever you want to call it, little videos I'm going to do for the channel, is do some fight reviews, man. And all the fight reviews are going to be from the Reptilian Top Team. So everybody that's competed that's from our gym and that's in the Reptilian Top Team, I'll be doing a fight review on them. And try to give a little, behind the scenes since I've trained with these guys pretty often. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if you like this. If you don't, this is a kind of a trial run. I'm just kind of putting it together. And, yeah, give me some feedback, guys. Shout out to Fire Chicken for allowing me to use the scrapyard footage. I've talked to him a little while ago about this, and he was totally okay with it. He's a really awesome guy like that. Wearing the gear, of course. Make sure you go over to their channel and subscribe. And if you can, man, get that premium package. I mean, I got it. I think it's like $2.99 a month, guys. Cup of coffee. So you get early access to all those matches as soon as they, the next day. They're not edited, of course. You get the full unedited version, but they're still really good quality. You're right up close and it's worth it. It's worth every penny. Plus you get a lot of behind the scenes stuff too. So yeah, be sure to check it out. Scrapyard stuff, amazing. And man, I'm gonna be doing a fight review over my first match against Short Temper. Shoot, man, that's kind of it was kind of crazy. So I heard about Streetbeefs probably like 3 years ago now. Saw it on YouTube. A real good buddy of mine who I used to train with, Russell Bond, he kind of turned me on to it, and he was saying like, hey man, we should get out there and get back into some competition, because I hadn't competed in several years. I used to compete locally in Portland and stuff in MMA. Excuse me. And I kind of was in that retirement. I mean, I was 36, and that whole fight thing was a little bit behind me. But some things happened in my life, and I changed occupations. I got out of working in bars. I was a bouncer for 12 years. It was a crazy situation. I used to work on 82nd and Foster. For anybody that's in the Portland, Oregon area, about that felony flats, they called it. And I used to work in the strip club industry. And I've worked in, 4 or 5 strip clubs that have been pretty rough areas. It was never like a real lax job, even though some people seem to like that kind of stuff. I kind of got stuck in it myself. We'll save that for a whole nother podcast. So, but I worked there. Prior to that, I worked in Yakima, Washington. I'm from the Yakima Valley. And, kind of just got into bouncing at a young age. I was 19 years old. I wasn't even old enough to go into bars. But when you're from a small town, things happen. And, I just kind of wound up doing that stuff. And, I ended up getting stuck in it for a long time. But growing up, I did martial arts. So that helped a lot, especially in those kind of environments. Not just with the physical aspect of it, like learning techniques and how to restrain somebody and stuff like that, but also staying calm and, trying to have a level head. Having said that, when I was younger, I didn't really have all of that, so I can't attribute all that to martial arts. Life will tend to kind of level you out a little bit as you get older. Hopefully, if you make it there, and if you're smart enough, I guess, you'll start to level out. No one can stay crazy forever. But yeah, so kind of getting back to the scrapyard, I got an opportunity to work over at my buddy's gym. Shout out to my buddy Chris. And Chris Nakato, he's the owner over at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu, and he wanted me to come on and be their striking coach over there. So I started doing that and, started really focusing on my martial arts and trying to improve myself. And I wanted to step in there and do some competition because I firmly believe that competition really does help expose what it is you need to work on in your game. And that's what I want to do. I'm forever a white belt. That's more than just a saying. It's a mindset. It's how I view martial arts is that I'm a student first. I don't claim to know everything. I know some concepts. I can drill them with you. I can explain what it is I do when I engage. But everybody has their own little flavor, their own little nuances to things and their explanation. And I'd like to, I have a passion for this and I'd like to hear it. And I'd like to also, keep that mindset that like, hey, you don't know everything, man. And martial arts is one of these fields where it's easy to get humbled. You can go into any gym and get dropped by the smallest dude there or female there, so it's good to be humble. And I had to learn that along the way myself. So when I was looking at getting back into competition again, I was going to do something locally. I think I even signed up for something at the NWC, and I ended up getting injured. I tore some ligaments in my ankle, I think a couple weeks before that match was supposed to happen. And then, so I had to pull out of that. So like a month later, the Streetbeefs thing was coming up. I think I saw it on YouTube. I was watching YouTube and I came across that. And since we're a new gym and everything, I was like, hey, Chris, what do you think about me going and maybe doing this Streetbeefs thing? It'd be great for advertisement. I knew nothing about the community. I didn't know where it was. I knew it was fairly close. I reached out to Fire Chicken on Facebook and spoke with him. It was like a week prior to the event. And then, I messaged him a couple days prior to it, and he gave me the address of where I needed to go, and it was like 3 hours from me, and I was like, all right, let's go and do it. I went up there with my fiance, Red Fox, and also with Mighty Matt. Mighty Matt was cornering me. And again, we didn't know what to expect. And, since I've been in really rough atmospheres and really shady situations, I was expecting something like that, honestly. I mean, it's backyard fighting, guys. But when we got there, it was nothing like that. There was no real hostility. I've been to local, amateur events where you're down in the pits, everybody's getting their hands wrapped, it's real tense and people are, on edge, and understandably. I mean, we're going to go in there and fight. You're going to potentially get injured and stuff. But when you go to the scrapyard events, it's like a community, man. It's like seeing, now that I've been there, I think like 8 or 9 times now. It's like seeing your relatives. It's like going to a barbecue or something, and you're getting to hang out with everyone. And yeah, there are some really competitive matches that happen, and people do get, knocked out or injured or whatever, but there's no like real malice in it. Like, people that are there to help build you up, not just like beat you down, but build you up. And there's a lot of individuals that really look forward to these scrapyard events. I mean, it's like some of them claim it's like all they have, it's like the thing that they look forward to help them deal with life. And I think we can all kind of relate to that on some levels. So it's amazing that they're able to put that together. And yeah, when I got there, I hadn't competed in about 7 years. I think the last time I had a match, it was a super fight, an MMA match at the FCFF at Rumble at the Roseland, and I lost that match. I actually lost it in the second round. It was a quick stoppage, I thought, but I'm not gonna hash that up right now. Anyways, so I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know who my opponent was. You don't know until you show up. You get weighed in. They match you by like levels. There's a 0 through 5. 0 being you never trained. You never had any like formal training. You never had a match. You don't belong to any kind of gym or anything like that. I think that level 1 is you've had some training, maybe with your buddies or whatever. Level 2 is you belong to a gym. Maybe you haven't competed yet. Level 3 is people that have competed. Level 4, I believe, is people that have competed and have won a championship. And then level 5 is anybody that's currently holding a championship and or a scrapyard championship. Now, they have all of these levels on the Facebook when you sign up, so don't quote me on this. But that's kind of like how I took it when I went and signed up. So I went in as a level 3. You know, I had a couple MMA matches it was several years ago, so I was like, all right, we'll just see what happens. And yeah, they matched me up when I got there with Short Temper. You know, first look at him, I was like, dang, it's a big-ass kid. And he was a big boy, and I was like, dang, he's going to probably hit hard, and he's going to have some endurance. But, you know, I'd trained for a good, I don't know, I want to say 2 months, maybe leading up to that. Maybe 3 months I had been training. So I was like, I feel pretty good. You know, I was down probably like a good 10, 15 pounds. And I was like, at the very least, I felt comfortable enough to make it through the whole match if it went the distance. And I knew that because we tested it in training. You know, I was training with at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu with the Reptilian Top Team. I had a lot of good training partners over there. I was training pretty heavily at that time with Mighty Matt, Big Ugly. Was training pretty heavily with him. And he's a big boy, so that helped. Buffalo Joe was a little healthier then, so I was training with him. And we had a couple guys that were coming through that wanted to, you know, actually get some bangers in there. Shout out to Matt Rowe. He was one of the individuals that we actually lost along the way, man. He moved away. Miss you, buddy. Come on back. But yeah, I got to get in some really competitive rounds. So that helped a lot leading up to this event. So yeah, let's check this. Let's just check it out. Let's see what happens. All right, so they had us matched up, and this is kind of how it goes. Love the opening, by the way. Cheers, guys. Yeah, Short Temper. It's already 4-3 going into this, so he had some experience. You know, he's not a newbie. Naughty Nate. Oh, man. Shout out to Lisa, the check-in lady over at the Scrapyard. She actually helped me with my name. I didn't know what I was going to go in as. We talked a little bit about it at the gym, but I thought it was kind of corny me telling them what my name was or my nickname was. So I was like, I don't know. What do you think it should be? And she's like, I don't know. Why don't you try like Naughty Nate or something? I was like, all right, let's try that. And then that's how a legend was born. Thanks, Ron, for reffing this. So here we are, touch gloves, kind of coming out, kind of getting a feel for each other. I'm sitting back a little bit, just kind of waiting, tossing out a few jabs. We get in a little exchange there, and when he hit me, it kind of shook me a little bit. So you see me kind of smile, and he kind of like, you know, I had to get my footing a little underneath me. But, you know, after those exchanges, I was like, it's not too bad. I settled in okay. And we're just kind of looking for my shots, you know? Yeah, Short Temper's doing pretty good here, managing the range. I can tell he was kind of a little unsure, you know? And, yeah, it's understandable. I mean, he's still young, still in his early 20s. So I think that was kind of the X factor in this match between me and him, honestly, is just experience. You know, I'm comfortable with going in that deep water where I saw that he kind of was losing the fight in him when he got tired. And that was kind of the deciding factor for me. And I was like, all right, I'm going to put the heat on you now that I felt you starting to get tired. And I like to fight like this. everybody knows I like to kind of put some pressure on you and stay within that striking distance and kind of pick at you a little bit and try to get in those exchanges. And I don't want to wait too long. I want to, like, we're going to have some action, you know? I want to swing. Good stoppage there by Ron. Giving him the count. And yeah, Short Temper was, you know, had great sportsmanship in this too. Which again, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just going to be some ghetto, you know, backyard fighting, but it's nothing like that. I mean, solid sportsmanship. I mean, it's so funny. Like I said, now that I've been there a few times, I've been cornering some of the scrapyard competitors. I've actually cornered Short Temper now 2 or 3 times, and we've had some success, man. I mean, we talk on a regular basis on Facebook and stuff. So this match it's funny to watch now. And it's like, oh man, who would have thought we'd be real good buddies now? And then, yeah, coming out now in the second round, I'm feeling way more comfortable. I'm looking for my shots, finding my angles. We get into a good exchange right here where we're just swinging on each other. And he was just tired. And again, I feel like this is really just an experience thing. I mean, we both hit fairly hard, and he's just getting winded, man. Kid has asthma, so you should see him now. He's lost quite a bit of weight, and he doesn't have the same problem. There we go. Good exchange. He tries to just blow it all out right here and just swing. Wide swings. I just covered up, kept in that box, did a little exchange. Then when he backed up like this, I was like, all right, buddy, we're still going to fight. And yeah, it was just, he just didn't want to fight no more at that point. I'm glad Ron stepped in and stopped that before I was able to land anything really clean on him and, you know, potentially knock him out or something like that. You know, my mentality going into this match, and probably my second match against Dre, is a lot different than what my mentality is now. Like, you know, I would probably pull off more now if I was in the same situation, if I can go back, just because, you know, I want to be competitive, but I'm not trying to injure somebody out there. I'm not, you know, trying to do anything like that. I'm trying to have some good, hard, competitive rounds. And, you know, hopefully both of us can go to work the next day. So, yeah, what a great competitor. Thanks, bro. Like,
shout out Columbia Jiu-Jitsu. Thank you, Scrapyard. Give us the opportunity.
Heck yeah, man. Shoot, I was fat then, too. I was probably like a good 10, 15 pounds heavier than I am right now. And having that camera in your face, even now, I still have this, I don't know, insecurity of speaking on camera. It's funny. It's like a totally unnatural thing to do. So that was the first match that I wanted to kind of do a little review on. I don't know if that was much of a review. I mean, I was kind of just telling you what I was thinking and what I saw when I was in that match. Yeah, man, it was a really good experience. Leaving that event and getting back home to the guys over at Columbia River Jiu-Jitsu. You know, I got to tell them all about it. They had a little more faith in me. They're like, oh, maybe this guy maybe doesn't know what he's talking about, because they get to see it a little bit, you know, and that's a kind of the beauty, too, of having your matches online. I guess it's a beauty and it's kind of like a curse, depending on which end of the stick you're on. So, yeah, it was really awesome, though. A month later, I end up coming back, and I have another match. I have a match with Dre, not the doctor, and then Colt 45 has a match, and Red Fox also has a match. I might even do, if I can get her match on here too, I might even do a fight review on that one, or I might save that one for the next podcast too. I might wait on that one and do special podcast for her, so we can see the disparity between her two fights, because she went into her first match with, I think, like 3 weeks of training. We'll get to that. That's a whole nother story on the next Chillin with Naughty Nate. We'll talk about Red Fox and her journey. Yeah, let's check out Colton, man. Colt 45, and let me give you a little backstory on this kid right here. I mean, so I'd trained with Colton leading up to this probably about 3 months, yeah, roughly. And Colton probably had, I don't know, a good 3 to 4 months of training off and on prior to me. There wasn't a whole lot of like stand up there when it came to Colton. Solid grappler though. Yeah, Colton's a beast on the ground, let me tell you. But it was new for him to come out and do like a striking match, and that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a boxing match. So we ended up going down there and setting him up in a boxing match, and he gets to box against Tommy T. I think it was Tommy Tufferson. And Tommy Tufferson, I mean, he looked like a pretty stocky guy. Colton had the reach on him. Colton standing about 6 foot, where Tommy Tufferson's about 5'8". But the reach is really, I feel like, was the main thing. I mean, Colton had a good 5-6 inches on the guy, and we really worked on Colton kind of utilizing some of that reach and working to those exchanges. The kid wasn't scared to get hit and wasn't scared to throw a punch back. The big thing over at leading up to these competitions was the cardio factor. I knew that was a real key thing to have under your belt when you're going to start competing. So we ended up doing like 5-6 minute rounds usually when we do our stand up, and I'd just keep that pressure on them. So he's used to having pressure on him, used to getting in these exchanges and hitting back, and also used to going really long rounds. So he had a gas tank in him that I feel that Tommy just didn't have. And, maybe Tommy was thinking he was going to come out and, touch Colton on the chin and it was going to be lights out. And, by the looks of the guy and the way he was swinging, that might have been the game plan, And they both went in, I believe, at level 1s, maybe. I think so. They're real novice fighters. I think this is both their first match. So it's pretty common for new competitors to not have a real understanding of what kind of cardio it takes to do a match. I mean, it's exhausting, guys. You're using your body in like a way that it's not normally used. When you're in a match, you have a lot of adrenaline running through you, so you're able to move a little faster. You're not feeling these hits, but you're taking harder hits than you've probably taken ever, and usually you start feeling that more the next day. So having that kind of like body conditioning leading up into these competitions really does give you the edge. I feel like even if your opponent, has a little more muscle on you or maybe be a little stronger than you. I mean, if you can take that person in deep water, that muscle isn't really going to, it's not going to do much when you can't breathe. So, just keep that in mind. Let's get this match started right here. We got Tommy Tufferson versus Colton. They just have me here as Colton. I believe he went Colt 45, though. But those things happen. Colt, man, just looks like a little skater kid, man. Out there in his Adidas sweatpants, shaggy hair. But that kid will throw him, bro. Oh, man. Fire chicken. 007. Hey, shout out to Coach P for reffing this match. Another individual that I happened to meet at Scrapyard. It's an awesome dude, man. So they get going here in the first round. Colton comes out and starts doing jabs. And then, yeah, just starting to tap him. Just tapping. And that was kind of the game plan. Was Colton just stay in his face and just stab him to death, you know, just start tapping him, stab him to death, force him to get in these exchanges with you, and guaranteed he's going to get tired. And that was kind of what we're doing. So you'll start hearing me yell like, move your feet, Colton. That just usually means that you're kind of standing still as the guy's putting that pressure on you, and you got to circle out. Yeah, and Tommy caught him with a couple good ones. Colton has a chin on him, though. I always tell my guys, you think this guy hits you harder than I do? So sometimes that's just me, you know, trying to get in their head, because I know these guys are hitting harder than I do sometimes. A lot of heart there, Colton. And I can already start to see Tommy's getting tired, man. His hands are dropping. He's starting to really lob these punches. And Colton's punches are still coming straight down the pipe. You know, keeping his hands up, moving around. There we go. Yeah, we're telling him he's going to get tired, Colton. And Colton's still right there. Staying in the box, throwing that jab out. Solid, clean jab, man. And then hitting him with that straight, too. Yeah, Colton doesn't really throw windmill punches. Everything's coming down the pipe. And Tommy's just kind of keeping his head on line. So, pretty easy target. There it is. Yeah, that was overhand too, man. Just catching him right on the chin every time. And Tommy's trying to push back. Like, he's just swinging so wide. And Colton just staying in that box. I mean, his body's taking some of the abuse, but it's mostly just his arms, man. And you see him just tapping that hand down, going over the top, catching him on his chin. Yeah, I bet I'd be interested to hear how Tommy felt about this match, and like what he expected, and if he was surprised by, you know, the intensity of this. And he's breathing pretty hard. I never have my guys sit down in between these rounds, because we do such long rounds at the gym. I'm like, stand up, put your hands over your head, let your lungs breathe, but we're not going to sit down and get our legs tired. Like, nah, we're fine. Yeah, and then Tommy starts ducking his head, and Colton just starts digging with those uppercuts, man. Yeah, as soon as Tommy started making that shelf leaning over, Colton was just digging. And then, yeah, kept that pressure on him. Don't lay off him. You hear me yelling. Don't lay off him. Just keep that pressure on him. And Colton, yeah, there it is. Tommy just took that first knee.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, he got back up and said he was ready to go. I mean, that's showing heart right there, man. And that's something that I'd be curious to see some of these internet trolls get out there and do, you know? It's easy to talk trash when you're behind a computer, but you know, these guys are out there and they're really having to dig deep within themselves and sometimes find that fighter spirit to get up and finish a round. Nice. Yeah, and Colton's ready to go. And I was telling him, jump on him, Colton. Jump on him. And yeah, I think because I don't know if you know, that got in Tommy's head too or not, because he was right by our corner. I'm just telling him, Colton, as soon as you know, Coach B gives you the go ahead, jump on him, start swinging. And he just decided, no, I'm done with this today. So yeah, it was a great victory for Colton. Man. That was a fun little ride home. You know, we got to talk about that experience. Like I said, on the next podcast, I'll go over Red Fox's matches. But I just want to kind of get on here and do a little review of my first match and, of course, Colton's first match, and kind of give the Reptilian Top Team a little shout-out, and give Scrapyard, of course, a shout-out, you know. Yeah, let me know how you guys feel about this stuff. These are pre-recorded, but if you leave a comment in the comment section, I'll be sure to get back to you about it, or you know, get back to you. Yeah, I might even start doing these live. I don't know, man. Let me know how you guys feel about this stuff. Yeah, catch you guys on the next one. See ya.
Ain't so high, up so high, drink so high. We been getting high, smoking chocolate. side, that's why I got the cotton mouth and my throat is dry. Yo, I'm out in LA at the cheapest spot. Why you lighting up dirt with a seed to pop? And I'm chasing that down.